Hey, welcome back to the Holy Duo. We got
Yep.
another live for you guys. This is Dialogue.
It's your man Eddie Ed.
Hey, and we're back at it again. Second topic today. Look, I was inspired by this thing that came up, right? And I'm going to play the video. I'm going to play it. We're not going to interrupt much so you guys can hear exactly what they're saying. We're going to we're going to let you listen. We're going to let you listen. So, this has to do with the birth rate. This has to do with people recognizing that the birth rate is actually not because of money. I've been saying this for years. It's so obvious, but I think certain people are starting to realize, hey, it's not about money because statistics are showing. Well, you don't need statistics when it's going on all around you. So let's go ahead and take a look at this video real quick. I have two videos for us. Eddie hasn't seen any of these videos,
I'm
so
about to be fresh in.
this is a fresh reaction from him. But let's go ahead and jump into the first video. It's Tababa and Preach, and they did this video.
Wait. It's not like you said Tababa and Preach.
Tababa, it's of Abba and Preach, and it's an interesting video. I found it very interesting, very informative. So, as we're doing this, let us know what you guys think in the comment section.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have kids because it's not affordable. And you just kind of believe that to be true because things are expensive in a lot of different ways. But what the data shows is that even people who get money don't have more kids. In fact, the kid, like the fertility aspect, is almost in a U shape. The poorest motherfuckers get the most amount of kids. Then it dips down, it dips down, it dips down.
And then Nick Cannon.
And his little...
That was wild, right? What the heck? Well, you had something to say? Okay, let's finish this clip. Let's finish this clip.
Let's finish the clip. Let's finish the clip.
Write it down, though. Write it down.
Yeah, I know, right? Heck is my pen.
Your family tree. I'll give it to you. And I start to question myself because I actually know quite a lot of people now who, like, in their mid-30s, around my age, some of them make 120, 150. You know, they have a partner who also works, so you probably combine that. They make like a good salary, even after taxes. And I asked them, like, what about kids? And that's not even really on their radar like that. They want to travel. They want to buy this. They want to look at a new opportunity from the workplace. And you realize folks, even when they get the money, don't really want to have the kids. Because I just think we used to always think that finances was a thing that really drove this. But the reality is a lot of it is mostly culture. This trend of countries getting richer or more GDP and then birth rates dropping is consistent. There's no society so far that has gone extremely far to make childcare affordable or incentivize you in terms of paying you and seeing this trend fixed. So I put a purple line so you can see what replacement level is. And what replacement level fertility is the amount of kids per couple, what a stable population needs to sustain itself. And if you look, the blue line is basically around the year 2020, the red line is 2015, and the green line is 2010. If you pay attention to these, you'll notice that they don't ever get close to the purple line, which is replacement level, until they get to like 500 to 700K income. And that was only back in 2015. In 2020, even when they make more than 700K, they aren't touching 2 kids per couple.
Huh? Hey, yo.
So couples that have an income of almost $1 million a year are still not having 2 kids or more. And this one I don't really identify with, but I have heard this. It's just pessimism about the future. A lot of people have this like deep dread and anxiety about the world.
Yep.
And as a result of that, they don't want to bring kids into this world. And I've heard this sentiment a lot. So in surveys across the Western Europe and North America, a sizable minority, 20 to 30% of children under 35 cite climate change or bleak economic futures as a reason for not wanting kids. So a lot of people have a negative feeling about their society, and it's just not the kind of one where people want to have kids. That's also a part of it. So I've never been someone who's been like pessimistic about the future, but I can imagine from their perspective, like, I don't like the world. Why would I bring kids and make them?
All right. So that was the first clip. What are your thoughts?
Dang, that was the first clip. There's more.
There's more, bro. There's more.
Man. So I got
There's
two thoughts. Or yeah. So growing up, this is definitely something that I've noticed. Actually, I've noticed there are families, big families, that are on the poorer side. You know, you might even classify them as little below minimum wage or middle class, so to speak. And I remember going to school with wealthier people, you know, they might have been middle class or even a little bit higher, that only had like 2 kids. Now, like when I think about the families that I've known over the years back from when I was younger, I do see quite a lot of poor families with like, because I would have friends, right? that had like 3 brothers and 2 sisters, or 3 brothers, 1 sister, like at least 4 to 6 kids in the family. Like I would see more than 2 most of the time. And then I'll go to school. I went to a private school growing up, so different kind of scenery, and that's a different budget there with a lot of folks that you see. I remember because like as kids, you have certain snacks, and then you look at your snacks, look at the kid that had the better snacks. I'm like, oh snap, I want some of those. They have Rice Krispies, you have Fruity Pebbles or whatever, like or the the knockoff, whatever. So you see the difference. You see the difference between what they have, what you do, and what you don't have, or what you have. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, that's not the same. That's a different.
For sure.
They have the real fruit roll up. I have like some other fruit roll up. That I'm eating. So, but with those families, I noticed there were like 2 kids. Like the friend that I had would only have like 1 brother or 1 sister. I'm like, that's it. I was like, dang, it's only like one of you, and then sometimes he's the only kid.
Mm.
And
Mm.
so that is a real thing. It's been happening for a long time. And then my thought came to me like, man, like, okay, they have only 1 kid. In my head, I see a couple reasons why that is the reality of their lives. Either they're just selfish, or either they're, or another reason could be that they put their career as most important, to where they spend so much time achieving those things, to where now trying to have kids is harder. So now, it's not that they don't want to, but that they may have a tough time trying to have kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's what comes
Yeah.
to my mind. But I do think a lot of times in today's day and age, it's just, people are selfish. They don't want to have kids. They just don't want to. A lot of people would I think a lot of people would be on that boat, just saying that they don't want to, than the other one.
Yeah.
At least from my perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good perspective. So for one, Eddie and I were both Christians, right? So we have a traditional way of looking at things, and tradition generally, when you look at tradition, it's a proven way of how a thing has worked in the past, right? So, your culture may have traditions, and they have it to this day because they understand and they believe that this thing works for us. Well, yesterday, actually, I was trying to really put all of this together because the subject is vast. Like, it's actually really, really deep. When you look at the thumbnail, I have the declining birth rates and a whole bunch of different factors around that. And those different factors have more factors, and those have more factors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So it's actually kind of crazy. But this is literally, like, let me put this up. Like, this is literally a mind map that I drew up of like trying to think through this stuff. And so the first excuse that people would generally live, like, have you seen the economy? Milk costs $5 a gallon. It used to cost $2.50. My argument to this has always been, well, what about the third world country people who are having a whole bunch of kids?
Yeah.
Like you said, with the daycare and stuff, like, you used to see a bunch of siblings who were like siblings, but when when you go to school, the private schools and like the higher education places, those
1 brother, 1
kids,
sister.
yeah, look, when you go to a public school, you have a whole bunch of kids, but when you go to a private school, the numbers drastically reduce because these are wealthier parents. So why aren't there more kids? You would think the wealthier parents would have like 5-6 kids coming to the same private school. That's not the case. So what I came up with is that money is actually the excuse or the vehicle that people use to like excuse themselves, but there's something else in that vehicle. There's something a little bit more, I don't want to use the word sinister, but I'll say self-centeredness in that vehicle. So one of the things that came up for me was independence. Yeah, you know, as a growing adult, once you hit 18, you have to be independent. You have to be able to pay rent. You have to be able to go out and work. You have to start off your career. Look, right out of high school, where do you go? College. Right out of college, you intern, you get a job, and then you get a promotion. Like, it's all thought out for you already. People think I'm being independent, making my own money, but it's actually already thought out for you. So no matter the life that you choose, either the traditional way or the more modern way, it's already thought out for you. No one is making up anything new here, right? If you're an entrepreneur, you make your money when you get out of high school or college. It's life isn't so complex that it's like, oh, if I go the Christian route and get married early, man, I'm missing out on the world. It's really not that deep. So independence, people want to be independent. There's a lot of selfishness, Eddie. You mentioned selfishness. There's fear of missing out, which actually is created by media. These are lies.
Mm-hmm.
How many people have you heard that say, man, I want to travel before settling down and having kids?
Yeah, or like want to do, want to have fun before you get married, or what? Like that don't make any sense. Like, isn't the whole thing of having fun and also includes? Well, let me say it like this. To me, if I want to have if I want to maximize a vacation,
Mhm.
like to where I can do any activity that I want, have the foods, this, that, and the third. You don't want to do that all by yourself, right?
Right.
You would probably go with a group of friends, right?
Exactly.
That you have a relationship with and that you know. What the heck is different about going with one that you're married to and then also look, you could do married activities. That's another enjoyable section that's left off the table. I mean, it's
Mhm.
supposed to be left off the table. You know what I'm saying? But most people,
Yeah.
what they want to do is they want to do that activity plus the other thing. So they want to be free to knock down all kinds of spades. With,
Yeah.
sowing the royal oats. With doing
Yeah.
those activities. But to me, it makes a whole lot more sense if I could do it the right way, but have a lot of fun.
And that's what people would disagree with. What do you mean the right way?
What
Well,
you
it's your
talking?
ways. You know what I'm saying?
Like
Like,
what?
they're
They get
proven
it.
ways to go ahead. Go ahead.
They get it from the movies. They think once you get married or you lock down, like they have so many movies and shows of like making a joke of people that's getting married. Oh, you are
Yeah,
getting
old
married.
balls and chain.
Yeah, and that's where I think the bachelor party activities come from. Oh, it's the last night to get this or do this, like
Mm-hmm.
that type of activity. We shouldn't even be involved in certain activities of what the society would put in bachelor parties. Like that's not even stuff you're supposed to be doing. But at the same time, they want to act like when you get married, you have to go to this last hoorah party to get it all
Yeah.
out, or to like, bro, what
To
is like that?
celebrate goodbye to your freedom. You're
It's
not
your
free
freedom.
anymore.
I'm most free
Full of shit.
now than
Yeah.
before. Legally, I can do activities now,
Right.
proper activities. That is, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like we ain't
Yeah.
doing illegal activities, but now we are legal to be with the one and do
Mm-hmm.
whatever, Yeah. So I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to what do you mean you have some stuff you want to do as far as in the having fun realm before you get married? You like I'm just saying having fun makes a lot of sense with doing it with the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Like, why are you trying to have fun
Exactly.
without them? It doesn't make any sense. What you so you telling me you want to have all the fun, then when you get with them, sit in the house all day?
Yeah.
That's as far as I'm gonna take it. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. So actually that reminds me of a story that came up. So when they were really trying to push for women to start leaving their houses and start going to work and having this independent lifestyle, there were some very prominent and popular magazines that had writers that would actually lie about it. I think I mentioned this some years ago to you, but they would write stories of these women that lived in the cities, and they had these fun nights out. They had vacation weekends. They traveled on the weekend. They did the 3-day Europe trip over the weekend with their best friends. They found like, it's just like stuff that you would think like, oh man, that life is so grand. It's so rad. Like they're exploring, they're traveling, they're meeting new people. Well, it turns out that those stories were actually lies. So what the newspapers were, what the magazines were doing was, yeah, they were making up stories to convince women to leave their houses that they were wives in to go work so that they could actually like do something fun with their lives as well.
Yeah. And sorry, real quick, why do you think they have movies about that? How many girl vacation movies are out there? It's a lot of them out. Like this is all like to make you think that is how it should be, or that's what you should do in your life. But it's not. It's made up, doggy.
It's made up. It's all made up. It's all made up. And they mentioned in the video that the GDP has gone up. And a lot of people will say, well, yeah, the GDP went up for the US because they allowed women to go into the workplace and start working. Fine. A lot of people are like, that's actually a good freedom. That's not really a freedom though, because that was already a thing in the past. No woman was banned from working. It's just they allowed every woman to essentially now go to work and get a specialty, which is a degree, to be able to be taxed. So now they're telling women, yeah, go to work. It raised our GDP. Now America is strong because our GDP is high. Thank you, women. But then on the other side of the coin, you see satisfaction and happiness just straight go down. And along with it, kids and families are going down the drain. That's exactly what GDP does. Because what GDP essentially means is a lot of people are working and being productive in the society as far as jobs go. So the more women that came into the job market, the GDP just went straight up. Great. Now that means America is a strong country. We're able to put money to build defense systems and all of this stuff. But the country is literally dying because no one's having kids anymore. So as a Christian, you look at this and you're like, man, it's so simple. Like just have kids young. And I don't know, maybe when you're like 35, 40 years old, you could go and specialize in something if you really want. But then people are like, well, not everyone wants to be a Christian and do that. And it's like, after they've traveled for 6, 7, 8 years trying to get promoted at their job places, now they're like, all right, I am 33 years old and I really want to have kids. You see this on TV shows all the time. The dating shows, the marriage shows, they're all filled with like women and like from like 28 to like 40 sometimes. And it's like, yeah, I just want a kid, bro. So, and I don't blame them too, right? Because we've been lied to. So on the other side of this though, when I said in the beginning of the video, when you look around you, you can see what's going on. You see dogs in baby carriages all the time now.
Yep. Getting wheeled and all that. Oh,
they get treated better than third world country kids. Isn't that crazy?
Oh yeah. I mean, not necessarily, but I know what you mean. Yes.
Yeah. Like someone is taking their dog to a spa, and there's a kid somewhere,
bro,
in a third world country because they don't have enough rice to eat for the day.
Bro, some of these dogs eating good. Some of these dogs, man. What?
Private chef dinners and all kinds of things.
Doggy treats galore, bro.
Yo. Wow. So that was the first clip. All right, we have about 6 more to go.
Like,
let's get it.
And should we got some more? Just one quick comment. A dog shouldn't be getting overweight to the point where you got diabetes. Like that's how you know the dog is just eating good, bro. What the heck is dog got diabetes for? That's human.
Yes.
Man, this is crazy.
Yeah, those are some human. And actually, when you go to third world countries and you see the dogs, they're wild dogs, because generally those countries don't keep dogs as pets, right? They don't need that companionship because there's companionship in family and friends. There's a strong bond there, so they don't really find a need for pets in a way. But when you go to those countries and you see the dogs roaming the streets and stuff, they're lean. They're not sick. They don't look like skeletons. They're lean dogs. They're not fat. When you see them compared to the dogs here, you're like, whoa, like, bro, that's a whole different story.
Them dogs ain't laying down because they had the itis. They laying down because they just ran 34 miles.
All right, let's keep going.
Where a lot of people are having children. So one part of it is work culture and overwork culture. Now, this is not true for everywhere, but in places in Asia, like Korea and Japan, where you have 60+ hour work weeks, expecting people to also want to raise kids, even when you give them all these tax credits, like, no, I want time for myself. My job is demanding. It's emotionally taxing. Like, work culture in Asia is crazy. So a lot of them people, even though their governments are literally paying them money to have kids, they're saying no, because my job demands way too much out of me. So that's also a factor in some different places. This is especially true for women, but work career punishment, whether we like it or not, women have found a tremendous amount of fulfillment in working, in having their careers, in chasing their dreams. And I think that's a wonderful thing. The bad downside of that is that you're punished career-wise for taking time off due to pregnancies. And a lot of people don't want to go through that. They really want to invest themselves into their job and reach the echelons that they want to. And oftentimes at the post where they're most fertile, or when it's probably some of the better periods, it's also the places where in their careers they're advancing and having the chance to really invest themselves. But to stop at 28, 29 after you've done a degree for 4 or 5 years and you've just been in the workforce for 4 or 5 years, 4 or 5 years is when you really start to move up. You know what I'm saying? And to take a break from that, pause everything, take a year or two, whatever, and then try to restart in a place where like people don't, everything moves.
Out of the loop.
And even when you come back, you're also now a mom, which means that you don't have the same level of investment in your workplace because you have different responsibilities that are going to take you away. And in some places like Japan, they actually push people down like the part-time mommy track because of the fact that they've just come back from child rearing.
Even as a man, because even with in our generation, the people that choose to have kids, the man is much more present.
Yes.
And it's like, for example, one study found that fathers today spend more than triple the amount of time caring for their children as they did in 1965. Not my father now.
Yeah.
All that bullshit you talk. Hey, you know what? I'll see you Monday.
Lots of freedom and lifestyle. So this is another part is where we value different things. We want certain experiences. We want to go to these restaurants here and travel Italy and do all this stuff. And people have these dreams and aspirations. And essentially building a family for a lot of them means that they'd have to give up or really postpone those things to a much later date that's indefinite. So a lot of people instead, they want to do all their traveling before. They want to, well, that costs money. That slows down the family starting process and it delays everything. So a lot of people don't want to lose their lifestyle.
I think it's money and kids are not.
All right. He's going to say kids are not that fun. But anyway. All right. So switching it up now. Something that came up for me was he said that women are punished for having kids.
Yeah,
and then trying to come back. I mean, I guess that's not a very popular take nowadays, though, because a lot of companies have maternity leaves. Some are pushing for paternity leave too for the fathers, but a lot of them have maternity leave.
We need that. Should we need that one? Shoot.
Yeah, yo,
we need that.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, man.
But the interesting thing that happens because I had a manager that had a kid and she had to leave. Chaos followed. Like people are like, oh, well, women should have the same opportunity to leave and come back. Okay, that's fair. In a perfect world, yeah. But does it always actually work out like that? So I'm not saying women shouldn't be able to have kids and then come back to work. But what is the result of women having kids when they are in a higher level or higher role in a company? Well, so in my example, she had a kid and she left. She was gone for, I think, 3 months. Well, there's a policy that says you can't talk to anyone that's on leave. You can't bring them back into the business because they're on leave. They're gone. So let them be. Cut it off there. When they come back, they can catch up. So she left. And then the team lead at the same time was looking to switch positions to a different department. And then there was a semi-team lead that actually, it was a mess. I mean, when I tell you that these things bring drama, it was a mess. So the semi-team lead was being informed by the director instead of the team lead because there was drama between the director and our team lead. And so it ended up being the team lead switched departments, and then a semi-team lead became our lead, all while there's no manager. So who's actually talking to who? Or things, and there were feet were stepped on. Like some people were hurt by how all of this stuff happened. So when you have someone in a position, in a strong, important position, and you just pull them out, like no matter how well you plan it, there's a gap there because that person left with a whole bunch of information that they can't just pass on to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
What came up for you?
Now you just had me thinking about what you just said, because I had an experience, and I don't know if there's any drama. See, I was so down at the totem pole of what was really going on with, I don't even know if there were, I don't think there was any drama, but our manager switched departments, totally. But after that, we didn't have a manager, so our director was sort of this like mock manager. He would check in on us once in a while type thing, and didn't really know what was going on. And so I just feel like the operation got a little bit funky because he just know high level kind of content, and he's going 1,000 meetings a day, so he don't know the granular activity that's, like the detailed activity that's going on with everyone. So it's how do you communicate what you're doing when he's not really trying to know what you're doing, all that. He's just, like, where are we on this thing, like, so yeah, I think from there the team was just pretty much just bamboozled in the way of, at least from my perspective. I was like, dang, like what am I supposed to be doing now? Who am I supposed to go to now that can tell me, like it was just a little, it's like you lost your schedule, so to speak. It's like the schedule is now it just vanished. Now you're not sure what you have coming up next. Pretty much.
Yeah, it just causes conflict. And like Abba was saying in the video, he's happy that women get to do this. And then in the same breath, he said, but the downside of it is problems, basically. Like, I'm glad women can work, but problems.
And I was thinking about when they first said, I was thinking about my other manager. She got pregnant, and she was on maternity leave, but I don't think she was getting paid for her leave. I think she was just on maternity leave. Like, basically, she was allowed to not work, but she wasn't getting paid. And I heard teachers, when they go on maternity leave, they ain't getting paid. It might be certain schools or majority, I'm not sure, but I heard teachers, when they do maternity leave, they ain't getting paid, bro.
That's tough.
Yeah, on top of the crap they have to deal with already.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, we're not going to be able to get through all the clips, but one last thing, and then you could give me your idea on it too, is that the idea that so like a solution to this from the Christian perspective would be for the men to go to work and the women to come home. Right? This would actually solve a lot of things. What it would solve is the pay raise of men would drastically go up, right? So if I'm getting paid $120K a year and all the women in the workforce left, there would be chaos for a little bit, but then there would come order. So if I'm getting paid $120K, now because I have to take on more and do more because some people left, my pay might bump up to $250K because it like I'm taking the job of like 2 other people. What would that do for families, bro? You know, like if your husband, if you get kicked out of work, both of you are earning 120K, so like 240. But then you come home and then your husband pay goes up by like 110%. Now you're in a better position and someone is home to take care of the house. So like I've heard the argument that when all the women went into the workforce, it reduced the pay that men were getting and it stagnated it. So some people say, well, they don't want women working because, you know, the pay gap stuff. But when you think about it, these companies are already trying to get you, bro. If you work in a private sector right now, go to your manager and say, I want a pay raise. Well, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this, you got to do that. Right. But if the idea here is you were the only one in a certain position and you're like, I need a pay raise or else I'm out, they're like, oh yeah, let's do that for you. So the idea is like, why don't companies just hire all women because they pay women cheaper? It's because they don't. It's not a real thing.
You know that if you ever read the job description, that part where it says and other tasks that apply.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's the abuse.
Yo.
That is the catalyst for all the extra stuff that don't you're like, what?
Yeah.
That's where that's the door to where they can slip through and be like, yeah, this is all that applies to it. You got to do this. That I'm like, oh, so that's where they come in through, and now you over there like, oh, let me get that pay raise, right?
Yeah.
But they're like, well, you gotta do this, do that, and that, and then you thinking in your mind like, well, it don't say that on the job description, but that
Yes,
one line,
does.
that's what that means. Yeah, if you try to ask for pay, you gotta do a lot that applies that we didn't write. You know, like, whoa, what are they?
And Johnny, you're not doing as much as we want you to. As a matter of fact, we should be paying you $10,000 less because you're not doing as well. But we like you. So just pick up a few more tasks and let's talk back in a year. Yo, I mean, so I don't even know where to go with this. Well, to kind of close it out, I'm not gonna put you on the spot because I actually let me hear your opinion on that. So the idea is like they gave women the ability to go out into the workforce and work and increase the GDP of the economy and be able to be taxed so that the government can have more money and all of this stuff. But I guess my question is, what do you think that did for like the workforce in general? Because you just said one of them. Because if you don't do the applied tasks or the extra stuff that they don't state in a job description, they'll just go find someone else.
Oh yeah, definitely make people more expendable.
Yeah.
Hey, you know. And
that is actually a good point.
And then they put that line in like, oh yeah, if we decide to cut you loose, you know, it could be for any like in the job description, like if they want to get rid of you, they have this line where it's like, yeah, and you know, we can get rid of you without any explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
Yeah.
You know,
if they wanted to. Yeah.
Like they have the expendable option. A lot of places they just could drop you and they don't got to give you a reason according to, you know, what they have in there. And it's like, it's like, how do you get rid of that line? You can't. The only way to get rid of it is not go. You know. So it just makes people more expendable. Hey, you know, next one, somebody else wants this, so you know, and then now what I think is happening is, hey, now they're not finding good quality people, so it's like, oh shoot, hold on, wait, we could get somebody else, but are they going to be up to our standard? Well, figure that out. You keep me, or go ahead and play the hiring game again.
Yep, they're good at that too. And And so yeah, a lot of people also job hop. Like they'll go from this job to that job. It's like, why is no one staying in the same jobs anymore? I don't know, because there's so many people that companies don't care if you leave, they'll just find someone else. So the reason why I brought up this video was because like Abba and Preach are generally progressive people. They'll make the argument that it's good that women, you know, got into the workforce and all of this stuff. It's still a good thing. But then they'll say like there's still some bad stuff. And it's like, well, what if we didn't really have any bad stuff? Would it still be good? Well, no, because then women wouldn't have a choice to go and work. But if they did, there would be bad stuff. It's a circular thing that like goes round and round and round and round and round. And I think until people accept the fact that it's not because of money that they don't have kids, it's because of selfish, independent, fear of missing out reasons. The media is lying to you about the climate and all of this stuff. I mean, it's just, and some people are like, oh, we'll just bring in more immigrants, you know, from other countries to come in and repopulate.
Yeah,
This is a global phenomenon.
Yeah, and you just made me think about this. This is at a smaller scale because not everybody is a celebrity. You know what I mean? And there's not many stars, you know, like music stars. But even in the music industry, I hear plenty of testimonials where they come out and say, "Yeah, we had to keep our image as if we were single." So they didn't let people know that they didn't let people know that they were married, or they didn't get married on purpose, because having that single lifestyle makes the ladies, you know what I mean? Like it makes just things go up because you're out there, you know, if you're one of them R&B singers, the ladies want to see if they can have a chance. So like so it's like, it's this game of like, yeah, look like you're not, so that, you know, you get more success, more progress, and things work out better for you, and you have more freedoms, whatever. Like, so that narrative is everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
Music, TV, movies. That's what is presented as how it should be, and we know the negative effects it has.
Yeah, but that's direct opposite of in the past, where a man with a wife and family was seen to be of a higher status than someone who was just kind of running around doing the, you know, these debaucherous things with Nick Cannon having 11 kids and not understanding how that's bad for society because he's repopulating. But we don't need you to repopulate. We need kids with families. So, you know, that's the other side of things. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's not about money. It's never been about money. It's never ever been about money. It's been about people being manipulated and people wanting just to do stuff for themselves. So in the era of independence, that's exactly what people are going to do. And trust me, the immigrants, they're not going to come in and populate the country either, because in their own country, they're also facing a population crisis. Almost every country is. That's the crazy part, that you could just, you think you could just bring people into the country and they'll help fix it. It's not. So that being said, we could dive into this further. If you guys want us to dive into this further, I mean, this is like a 2-3 hour like live stream that we could go into these different aspects of it. But let us know what you guys think, man. This was a fun topic for me. I don't know. Did you have fun at it yet?
No, it's definitely interesting. I just have one more thought I wanted to throw out, is that
go ahead.
Listen, a lot of people think that, let me just say it like this. We're making the devil's job easy. You know, they're looking at us like humans do it to themselves. Like they don't even have to do much influencing. They just got to show what the picture is, and people are gonna want it.
They love it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so we're doing it to ourselves, is what I'm basically saying. Like, you know, the enemy is in the midst, but we're doing his job for him. We're perverting everything for him. They don't got to do it. They it's easy.
It's easy
work. Easy work. That's why, so this day and age, even before this day and age, humans just were corrupt, and made the enemy's work easy. The only real believers is that's why he's worried about real believers that is making a difference, because they stand by the truths of the word, and they multiply how we're supposed to we multiply how we're supposed to multiply. We subdue the earth and take dominion how we're supposed to. The devil don't want you to be fruitful and multiply. He don't want you to have dominion. That's why we're seeing what we're seeing. But majority of people who are unbelievers are making that job easy, and so he doesn't have to do a whole lot. That's why he's attacking the believers, because we're the ones that stand on business are doing it God's way, and therefore that's what he doesn't want to happen. So he has to try to stop it. But
yeah, look at that, man. They're pushing Christians out of all kinds of public sectors. School, no more Christianity. I was like, if Christianity says Christianity is a true religion, we serve the true God, and you come in and you're like, no, you don't. We don't need a God in the public school system. I don't know, man. This is for another video.
Yeah, no, yeah. Shoot, that thought that you had could bleed into, yeah. So yeah, this is a deep, convo, but yeah, that's my last thought.
Hey, maybe we could talk about it on our Monday stream if we do have one. So,
oh yeah,
you guys, yeah.
Make sure y'all turn on your post notifications so you know when we're going live. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep, that's right. So, hey, thank you guys for joining us. Leave your comments below. Let us know. You guys have a discussion. We'll join right in. We appreciate you for watching, whether you're in the live or you're watching afterward. We appreciate all of it. All right. Thank you guys. Have a God bless day.
Yep.
And it's the Holy Duo. We're out of here. Peace.